What's up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm here to do a weekly forecast for the week beginning August 4th, 2019 through August 11th, 2019. So, this is for all signs. This is for all of us, just what the cosmic weather is like for the week. What's the energy up all in the air? And how does it affect us? If you would like a horoscope for your sign, a monthly horoscope for the month of August, then go ahead and go to my website to the horoscopes page. I leave the link in the description box for that if you want to check it out. And yeah, don't forget to check out the monthly forecast for August for all signs too. I have that up as well. Just get a sneak preview ahead. Like, this is weekly. I do weekly, just feeling things out and going with the flow of what's going on right now every week in more detail. But if you want to look ahead at like what the rest of the month of August is like, just generally too, I have a video up for that. All right, guys. So this week, what's cracking? What's popping? Oh, and look, 444. That's one of the angel numbers. They've been popping up a lot for me lately. That means changes are on the way. I sure hope so. I sure do. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you always see angel numbers. I talk about them here and there, but they're the real deal, though. They are definitely the real deal. So anyway, August 4th, the week begins. So we still have Mercury hanging around the eclipse point, the beginning of the week, okay, of this week. The last eclipse happened at 24 degrees of Capricorn and Cancer. So Mercury is at that eclipse point in Cancer, okay? So if you know where the sign of Cancer is in your birth chart, what house it rules and what all that stuff means, Mercury is revisiting that point again, and it is telling us, you know, looking at things from a new perspective. I'm gonna look back. I think I did this last week too, but you see, okay, that 24, like around 24 degrees, so 3rd, 4th, 5th of August. The last time Mercury was here was 20, 29th, 30th, okay, of July. But before that, going back to June, it was like the 20th, 21st, 22nd. You know what's crazy? Is around this day back in June, the first time that Mercury was at that 24th degree of Cancer, I did run into an old boss of mine at one of my old jobs, and she said that I can come back and work for her, right? And this is when Mercury was in shadow, but it was started being in shadow around this time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know. And I talked to her about it. Didn't really hear much for a while, but Mercury was retrograde. And now Mercury is at that eclipse point today, the same place it was that weekend when I saw her, and she hit me with a text and was like, you ready to work? I was like, yeah, buddy. So what was going on back then? Wherever Cancer is in your chart, you know, whatever Mercury was doing back then, things could be more in the clear now for you, okay? For all of us, with it hanging around this 24th degree still. So that's what's going on at the beginning of the week. Hopefully you guys are experiencing more clarity in any situation that you're in. The moon is in Libra. So we begin the week with the moon in Libra. Libra is a sign of compromising, negotiations, contracts, agreements, relationships, you know, having somebody just to be your road dog, roll with you here, there, bounce ideas off of, one-to-one interactions with people, giving counsel to others, especially when it comes to dealings with others and relationships. And can we all just get along? That's Libra energy. So we start the week off with that. And then, you know, on the 5th, the moon is still in Libra. The moon will be making a square to Pluto, square to Saturn. So there could be some maybe challenges with coming together with people, especially like maybe there could be a little bit of relationship disagreements or something, you know, popping off a little frustration with others, maybe some fears and doubts coming up with moon square these. And the fears and doubts can be based on relationship stuff too. But it is a pretty decent day, you know, the 5th. I mean, there's not really that much popping astrologically. Nothing that's totally brand new, but we do have, you know, the moon in Libra here. She continues to be in Libra until the 6th, okay? Until the 6th of August. Then she enters Scorpio. She enters Scorpio like really early in the morning, I believe, Pacific US time. Yeah, so Pacific US time on the West Coast. This is when the moon enters the sign of Scorpio. So what does this mean for us? The moon will be also opposing Uranus. It'll also come into squares with Venus, the sun, Mars, you know what I'm saying? So there will be a little bit of challenges with this moon in Scorpio. But yeah, so the days when the moon is in Scorpio, of course, you know, Scorpio is notorious for intensity, a little bit of darkness, darkness to everybody, deep emotions. So of course, we will all be feeling that starting on the 6th, from the 6th through the 8th when it's in Scorpio. But yeah, it will oppose Uranus. It will square all the Leo stuff. So there are some challenging aspects early on. I would say the majority of them are going to be on the 6th and the 7th of the moon opposing Uranus. That can mean like your emotions are a little erratic, but at the same time, you're kind of keeping them within. You're trying to hold it together within, because a Scorpio moon energy is very introverted. So it's like on the inside, you can have a lot of restlessness and inner turmoil, a lot of thoughts that are deep and they're just like constantly running and buzzing, you know, in the back of your head. So we can all be feeling that. When the moon makes squares to Venus and the sun and Mars, you know, that's just some tension that you'll be feeling when it comes to things that those planets rule. You know, Venus is love and money. The sun is like your identity, your ego, your whatever. And then the Mars is also anger, and it's one of the co-rulers of Scorpio. So, you know, there could be some of that going on. But on the 7th, though, it will be making those challenging aspects to all this Leo stuff. The moon will. But it'll also be making a trine to Neptune. So that'll kind of like settle things down a little bit, to where it's not as like, you know, like there's not as much like anger and stuff like in inner turmoil. Neptune eases things. So it causes like more dreamy, spiritual, creative, romantic energy when the moon is trying to Neptune. That's more like later in the day on the 7th. Yeah, like later in the day, early evening on the 7th, or maybe into the 8th if you're in the eastern part of the world, that the moon and Neptune are trying each other, working together energetically, at the same time, you know, helping to ease the tension of squaring these masculine planets and their energy. So maybe this day there could be some masculine and feminine energies that are like battling it out with each other. It's kind of harder to get along. There's inner turmoil that's coming out and it being expressed, and people are stomping a high heel or stomping a sneaker on the ground and like demanding things from people. But then the moon, you know, trine Neptune is like, okay, it eases things up pretty much. All right, so it is the moon is in Scorpio. And then on the 7th is actually a pretty good day, because the moon, the sun and Jupiter are trine. This is more so early in the day that we have the sun trine Jupiter on the, what day is it? The 7th. Yeah, the sun trine Jupiter. It's like really early in the morning, West Coast US time. That it's exact, or maybe it's like real late at night on the 6th, but like the 6th, the 7th, you know, that's when the sun is making a good aspect to Jupiter. This is very happy-go-lucky energy, to where you do feel energized, you feel like luck is on your side. And actually, some people may have things like Jupiter brings opportunities, you know, so maybe there are like some opportunities that come to people, some insights, some ideas that you get super hyped about. You feel like you can execute these ideas, because also Venus, you know, is right next to the sun. So Venus is making a trine to Jupiter as well, like at the same time. It's just, this is exact, you know, 14 degrees and 14 degrees. We got to look at the numbers here, people. So that's what makes these trine each other. They're both in fellow fire signs. So they're working together, Sun, Venus, and Jupiter. On this day, yeah, on the 7th, it's very, very strong. And then when we move to the 8th, that's when Venus is like more so making that trine aspect to Jupiter itself, getting up to that 14th degree. Yeah, so like later in the day. So we've got Sun and Venus very close together, trine Jupiter. The 7th, the 8th, 6th, 7th, and 8th are really good days to come up with goals and plans and dreams and stuff like that, of like things that you want to do and that you want to execute. And the fire energy is go-getter energy. It's belief in yourself and in your actions and your abilities. And Leo is about showing off, showmanship, being center stage, being in the spotlight, and just having confidence to express your talent and your abilities. So that paired with Jupiter, yeah, it's really, really good days for like going after goals and dreams and discussing them. It's good for discussing them. Mercury is still in its shadow phase up until the 15th for like another week. So, but I'm finding that things are starting to come out more in the clear though, as Mercury continues to move forward. So these days can be days where, yeah, you do like kind of plan things, write things out, but maybe not execute them until maybe like a week later. Or you may not see them start to come into fruition until maybe like a week later. But yeah, all this energy aspecting Jupiter is beautiful. Even though Jupiter is still retrograde, it's slowing down. Jupiter is slowing down as well, So like, don't get too hyped and jump and fly after things too excitedly, especially as we get into the weekend. And we still have this energy of, the aspects to Jupiter from like Venus, Sun, and then the moon moves into Sagittarius, a sign that Jupiter rules, on the 8th. So now we've got all this fire energy in the sky, all this like, yay, I'm so excited. I think this can happen. I believe this can happen. That can happen. I could do anything. I could jump and fly, and, it's that type of an energy. So that's going to be going on throughout the end of the week. So people will probably be like super crazy, mad, excited about stuff. And yeah, just really believing in things. So moon and Sag, oh, this is going to be such a relief, you guys. And the moon switches from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Let me tell you, I feel it every single month. I feel the switch, especially as a double water, water rising, water moon. I'm a Scorpio rising, moon and Scorpio like days are super emo. Oh dear Lord, have mercy. So yeah, moon switching to Sag is totally different energy. So we've got the trines of Jupiter, we've got the moon and Sag, beautiful fire energy all in the sky. So the moon will be in a conjunction with Jupiter. Looks like it's exact on August 9th. And over here where I live, it's going to be at 4:44 p.m. That's like a lucky angel number, lucky time right there. Moon and Jupiter exact. So August 9th. Yeah, this could be a really lucky day. It could be a day of lots of good luck for people, whether it's like just things happening for you or you actually making them happen. Like you're working with the energy that's being bestowed upon you right now of all this fire and faith and belief and stuff. A lot of people will just be jumping after stuff, I'm telling you. But moon and Jupiter together equals good times. Good times, fun, jovial, happy, excited energy. So this is party energy right here too. Leo is about the party, Sag is about the party, Jupiter's about the party. So people will, but one thing I'll tell you guys about this weekend is this, because of all this energy in the air, it's good, it's fun, it's exciting, it's trines are, it's a positive aspect, but yeah, it could still open the doors for other things to happen too that are, it's like you do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do things in excess, especially when Sag and Jupiter are involved. You can do things in excess. So don't be overindulgent this weekend. You may want to just jump into things head first, not quite thinking about the consequences, but just try not to do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, still have fun, have a good time, like just show off your skills. You know what? I think there's like a really big dance competition going on. You guys know me. I'm in the whole like dance and hip hop and art and all that stuff world. I think there's like an international hip hop competition or something like that going on. I'm pretty sure people are going to be tearing it up this week. Ooh, I wish maybe I'll see if I can go and check it out. But I'm pretty sure people are going to be doing really good. But any skills that you have, you could be flexing them real hard this weekend, just like jumping out there, not even caring, having a good time. But yeah, people can overdo things. The key word with Jupiter is, remember, over. You can overdrink, overeat, overindulge, overdose, unfortunately, because this also makes a square aspect to Neptune. So aspects to Neptune that are like squares and challenges, they can bring things like overdoses, overdoing Neptune things, which are escapism. You know what I mean? Neptune rules escapism through substances, especially. Okay, so after that, pretty much as far as like any major aspects and stuff like that, not too much going on. Just the same stuff is like lingering and carrying on the next couple of days. The 9th, the 10th. Yeah, and then let's see. The 9th. So on the 10th, I'm gonna say the 11th. On the 11th, the moon switches into Cappy. There's a lot of stuff going on the 11th, guys. So let's discuss that. So it looks like really late at night over here. Yeah, on the West Coast of the US and A. That's when the moon switches into Cap. And let's see, the 10th is what? It's a Saturday. So really late night on a Saturday night. So it's like Friday night. Friday the 9th is going to be like a super party day. I have a lot of work to do, so I don't know if I'm exactly going to be partying, but I'll at least be in a good mood, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys are going to be out there turning it up, do that for your girl, because she'll probably be turning it up in front of her computer, doing a lot of work, okay? But it's still good times on Friday the 9th into the 10th, but late at night on the 10th, the moon switches into Grumpy Grandpa Capricorn, which is all about responsibilities and duties. And so people may think about the consequences of their actions a little bit more. It's always like while Jupiter is in Sag, which Jupiter will be here until the end of the year. And it's been here in Sag since like the end of 2018, right? So every month when the moon is in Sagittarius, it comes in contact with Jupiter, and those are real like big time party days. And then it's like, when it moves into Capricorn, like a day or two later, then it's like, oh wow, maybe I shouldn't have done all that crazy stuff like when the moon was in Sag. But anyway, so the moon goes into Capricorn, responsible Capricorn, practical, thinking more about things, planning ahead for the future, thinking about the long term, thinking about, well, what if this and what if that, It's more about that. Let's see, that's on the 10th. So yeah, moon switches to Capricorn, responsible, calculating your finances and your goals and everything. Goal energy is in the air, goal oriented, go-getting energy because of all the fire and aspect to Jupiter, which can rule goals and opportunities and like big things you go after. But Capricorn is about like asking the questions, the serious ones, like, are you really serious about this goal? How are you going to meet it? Do you have a plan? Do you have a 5-year plan? That's a Capricorn thing right there. What's your plan? Your 5-year plan. Lord have mercy. You guys know I always talk about my old bosses in the corporate world. And one of them was a Capricorn moon. And he was like totally like that. Like, what's your plan? And like my Pisces moon would be so agitated at that. Like, I get along with Cappies pretty well because I have a Taurus stellium now. So I have some earth. But at the same time, our moons didn't get along. You know what I mean? It's like, what's your plan? And my Pisces moon is like, I just know what I'm doing. Like, get off my buttocks, sir. Anyway, so moon and Cap. All right. The 11th of August. Very important day astrologically. Let's move the time back a little bit. What's going on here? Hello. Oh my gosh, of course. Mercury's still in shadow, you guys. So of course, there's stupidity going on. Like, come on, show the chart. Come on now, dog. Come on, man. Don't let me get a little boosy. Okay, so now a couple things are going on the 11th. So the moon continues to be in Capricorn. So it is more of a serious vibe that day. More seriousness because it is in a conjunction with Saturn. Then it'll meet Pluto. That's kind of like fears and doubts, and I'm not sure if this is gonna work, and this is gonna be such hard work, and kind of like worry about the way that things are gonna turn out, worried about the consequences of your actions. It can also still be good energy for planning things out, executing things that you came up with, these genius ideas you came up with all this fire energy in the sky. Now it's like, okay, what are we really going to do to make this happen? Is when the moon is in Cappy that day. And into the next day on the 12th, but we're only covering up to the 11th. But also, what's going on today? On the 11th is Mercury in Leo. So Mercury goes back into the sign of Leo. It's direct in Leo. It's still in shadow until it gets up to 4 degrees, okay, which is once we get past the 15th of August, it'll be past 4 degrees, and then we'll be in the clear with communication, recovering lost information, lost correspondences, contracts, agreements, what we want to do in certain situations. Wherever Leo is in your chart pretty much is where you're going to have more clarity on things, because the last time Mercury was here at 0 degrees of Leo, that was it was back here like, oh wait, that's August. Last time Mercury was at 0 degrees of Leo, it was of Leo, it was like July, let's see, 18th, 19th, okay. So we're going to be going back over what was going on, from here, like pretty much the beginning of July, like the very end of June till the middle of July is what we're going to be having more clarity on. What was going on during that time? Do you want to proceed forward with things? Are you looking at things from a different perspective? Wherever Leo is in your chart, okay, like what was going on during that time? Let's see, up to the 18th, 19th, yeah, okay, of July. So that wasn't too long ago. So yeah, Mercury back in Leo, and then so for this whole rest of the week, which I'll cover like the 11th on, I'll cover that next week. But for that whole week, it's like clarity on things, and it begins here. Once it steps into Leo, it'll still be like things are a little, fuzzy because we're still in the shadow period phase. But hallelujah for it going into Leo and joining this Leo stellium. Oh, so thankful. I mean, no offense, Cancers, but your energy is very intensely emotional, especially for us fellow water signs. Like, it's emo, it's like dwelling on things, it's wallowing in sorrow, it's drowning yourself in memories and emotions and stuff. So it can be it can kind of stunt the Leo energy, like from progressing forward and jumping after things, and then it's like, well, I'm not sure and I don't feel like. That's how Mercury in Cancer is. But once Mercury hops into Leo, it's like, hey, what do we got going on here, and when are we gonna do it, when are we gonna get it started, so it's like, let's get the party started. That's Mercury in Leo, okay. So also Jupiter goes direct, and Jupiter is also fiery energy. It's in a fire sign, it rules this fire sign. So now it's proceeding forward, it just hopped back into being direct on the 11th as well. So it's beginning to have more clarity into situations where it's like about opportunities that you want, things that you want to go after. So wherever Sag is in your chart, things are going to start moving forward, moving ahead. I'm so thankful for that too. Now, with all this, moving forward energy, we do have something moving backwards, and that is Mr. Uranus here. Gonna start moving backward in the sign of Taurus, goes retrograde starting here on August 11th. There's just a lot popping on the 11th. So Uranus is a faraway planet, though. It's a slower moving planet. So that means we will see and feel and experience the effects of it, but it won't be as like impactful as, say, like a Mercury retrograde or Venus or Mars. Those travel close to the sun, which means close to the earth. So we see like the effects are like much more pronounced, but Uranus is like, it's retrograde. How long is Uranus retrograde? It's retrograde for like several months, I think until January of next year of 2020. It's how long Uranus is going to be retrograde. Yeah, so it's through January 10th of 2020. So it's slower. It's a slow retrograde. So it'll be very subtle as far as the effects. But Uranus is like the mad scientist. I always picture like I characterize the planets a lot because I'm a weirdo. And I always picture Uranus as like this little like mad scientist dude with the kooky hairs. It's like sticking up all over the place, you know? And he's in a lab and he's like experimenting with your life. Okay. Like, I wonder if we put this person together and then put this person with them, like what kind of crazy explosions will happen. Woo! And then like he laughs a kooky laugh when some tower card moments happen in your life. Like, oh wow, like, oh, these people, let's make them cross paths and make some craziness happen. And, you know, like, let's make this accident happen. Woo, psh, boom, bam, crash. Whoa, okay, all right, this is what happened. So I don't know. That's how I picture Uranus's energy. Like, it's very, let's just throw a lightning bolt in this person's world and see what craziness happens and laugh about it. You know what I mean? So he'll be going backwards. Now, I feel like Uranus is about liberation from things, freeing yourself from things, just freedom in general, to be yourself, your true authentic self. It's like wherever it moves, it does like free you from things, keep you on your toes, and keep experiences happening continuously that change so much, like drastically, extreme ups and downs. Nothing is like too consistent in your world when Uranus is moving there. So wherever Taurus is in your chart, you know, that's where you can be experiencing like extreme ups and downs. Now, when it goes backwards, when it goes retrograde, I think it's more like introverted. You know, it's like inner world things rather than you seeing the results of it outside of you, rather than you seeing it manifest like physically outside of you. It's like more internalized things, that you'll want to free yourself from certain things, you know? So that should be interesting. And that's over the next several months. Now, Uranus, just a little sneak preview, you guys. It's at 6 degrees of Taurus. It's going to go back to 2 degrees of Taurus. So it's going to go back and forth. But the effects are so subtle. I'm not even going to go over the dates and all that. But pretty much that's what the week is like from the 4th to the 11th of 2019, 4th to 11th of August. So some clarity into things, some moving ahead with some things now. Hopefully now people won't be wallowing in too much emo and they'll see the light of day. You know, it's Leo season. It's in full effect. So all the light of the sun and all this Leo energy is going to really help us to start cleaning up and clearing up stuff that Mercury retrograde in Cancer, you know, left behind, and the eclipses, including the one in Cancer and the one in Capricorn with all these destructive energy of, you know, Saturn and Pluto. We're going to start seeing, you know, it's like there's going to be flashlights shown through the rubble of our worlds with all this Leo energy. And we're like, oh, okay. And this is what we've got to do. Okay. And then with the aspects to Jupiter, it helps to keep us having a positive mindset of how we can move forward with things in our life, cleaning up messes and coming through the ashes and the rubble and rebuilding things and stuff, you know, with lots more like confidence in ourselves and our abilities. So anyways, that's this week, you guys. Lots cracking, lots popping. Have a fun week. Have some party time, you know, turn it all up and all that stuff, you know. And just don't do too much. Don't do too much to where you're going to regret it, you know, starting on the 11th with all this serious Capricorn energy scolding you, or you're scolding yourself. But anyway, take care, you guys. Don't forget to check out the monthly video for August for all of us, and also monthly horoscopes for your sign. I'll leave the information in the info box. And I'm still working on getting back to being active on social media. I have a lot of work to do besides social media stuff. I'm revamping some things too, so I'll be back soon on there, you guys. So follow me on social media. All the info is below, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.